Welcome, my name is Tabor Cook and I am the coordinator of undergraduate recruitment for Mississippi State University. And today you are watching It's Major. Mississippi State is a large, comprehensive institution with over 180 majors and emphasis. And all of those majors and emphasis live in unique academic homes. And It's Major is a series where we highlight all of those homes and the opportunities within them. And today It's Major with the College of Forest Resources. As Mississippi State's only forestry program, the College of Forest Resources' mission is to promote, support, and enable the management, conservation, and utilization of forest and other natural resources to benefit not only Mississippi, the nation, and the entire world. Today we have with us Corey Bailey, the admissions coordinator for the College of Forest Resources. Corey, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And so tell us a little about yourself and how you got into the College of Forest Resources.
Sure. So my name is Corey Bailey. I am the Senior Admissions Coordinator in the College of Forest Resources. I've been with this academic college as well as the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences since the spring of 2014. I am a graduate of Mississippi State. I have a communication degree, emphasis in public relations. I immediately went on to get my master's degree in counselor education with an emphasis in student affairs. And so I really am doing exactly what I love to do.
That's awesome. So you, not having a background in forestry, but the College of Forestry interests you enough to bring you into the college. So tell us some interesting things that you have learned about the College of Forest Resources.
Well, you're exactly right. I did not grow up with a background in forestry. Neither one of my parents went to college, so I was a first-generation student. And so I kind of navigated the college landscape on my own. But when this position became available, it literally had everything in the job description that I was looking for as I was working on my master's degree. The ability to work with students from the perspective side, working with incoming freshmen, incoming transfer students, working with those students to help them figure out what they would like to do and what type of impact they want to have on the world. These students love the outdoors. They love hunting or fishing, but they also just like the mental relaxation of going outside and enjoying nature and enjoying national parks. And so the ability to do that and help those students figure out how to transition their passions into a lifelong, fulfilling career is very much a rewarding experience for me. I also have the opportunity to work with our student ambassadors, our student recruitment team, and that is definitely one of my passions in this position, is being able to really mentor and build those leadership skills that those students already start having early on, and I just like to see that grow over time.
In your work, what have you seen in the College of Forest Resources that makes us as a university stand out versus other institutions students may be looking into?
Yeah, so many of the programs across the country that have some type of natural resource background, some of them do not have the asset that the College of Forest Resources has in our own school forest. Our school forest is literally only about 15 minutes down the road. It's the John Starr Memorial Forest, and that is prime real estate for our students to get hands-on experience. Many programs have moved away from that hands-on experience just because they don't have that access to property like that. And so our students, many of the classes that they take have a lab associated with it. And so they're able to take those labs to really bring what they are learning in the classroom to life. And again, they want to work outside, they like being outside, and so we're not going to keep them indoors at the undergraduate level.
That's awesome, and we're going to talk a lot about those hands-on opportunities. But Corey, you mentioned the work with the students and working with students who are passionate about the world we live in. And the College of Resources students are proven leaders whose goal are to literally save our planet. And let's hear from one of those incredible students right now.
My name is Andrew Sullivan. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm currently a junior in the Sustainable Bioproducts program. MSU has been amazing. Coming in as a college freshman, it was an adjustment as it is for most people. Within this major, I started learning a little bit, and there's actually a form of biodegradable plastic, and it's currently being produced from corn is the #1 thing. As I started researching and learning a little bit more about it, there is an area that we could potentially produce it from wood-based products, which is the main thing that we study here in SBP. The SBP department here at Mississippi State is one of the top tier institutions. We're a #1 research institution, and so it gives you amazing opportunities, 100% job placement rate, and people were actually sought after students. Companies want to come to Mississippi State. Companies want forestry students and want to get them jobs. I hope to encourage other women to come into this field and not be afraid of the men in the room that could be questioning how much you know or how much you have learned over the years. You don't have to prove that at all. Your proof is going to be in your work and in your success in your own self. If you'd like more information on sustainable bioproducts or any degree under the College of Forestry, you can go to cfr.msstate.edu.
Thank you, Zandra. And Zandra mentioned that she learned about this biodegradable plastic and researched on her own and has been able to use that to shape her academic experience. Is that something students in CFR get to do? Do they get to use that experience and create their academic curriculum often?
Absolutely. Zandra is in Sustainable Bioproducts, and she is a senior. She is a rock star, and she, like so many of our other students, as I said earlier, they want to figure out what their place in the world is, and they want to make a positive impact. And we have so many plastics and bad materials that are filling up landfills, they're filling up water sources that are contaminating water sources. And through a degree in sustainable bioproducts, these students are able to figure out new solutions for the everyday products that we come into contact with. So thinking about a very popular topic over the last couple of years was thinking about something as simple as straws that could be a sustainable bioproduct, and thinking about a new solution for the way that we need to take in our beverages, especially in the healthcare system like a nursing home where that's an essential product. But then there's also different sides of sustainable bioproducts. You have your traditional wood products that can be made from all different types of wood, but then you also have other products like your waxes and adhesives that can be made from different composites of any type of natural resource. So that's the goal in that degree, is to take natural resources and really engineer new products and think of new solutions for everyday products that we come into contact with.
That's great. And so Zandra also alluded to the College of Forest Resources typically being a male-dominated field, and I'm sure some of our students are thinking of that. And so tell them about some opportunities for all groups to get involved.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that question, because that is a common misconception with the College of Forest Resources. There's no doubt about it. There's definitely a lot of males in our academic college. But what I've definitely seen since my time since 2014 is the amount of females that are coming into our college. We have a great deal of diversity within our academic college. The last time we ran some numbers, we actually had a 2-to-1 student ratio between males and females. And so it's not a male-dominated field anymore. And in fact, even some of our female students, if they wanted to major in forestry, for example, sky's the limit on the types of careers that they can get later on, just because there is that opportunity to create some diversity even in the workplace, especially with government agencies. They're looking to increase that diversity standpoint, and so the opportunities are there.
So, and we speak a lot, and we've talked about this through the interviews, that these students are really interested and really serious about their work. And so I know a lot of students worry that all they can do is what's happening in the college. Tell them about some of your students that you work with that are involved outside of the college.
Yeah, so we have students who have been a part of the Spirit Group on campus. We have students right now who are marching in the famous Maroon Band. We have students that have served on the Student Senate. We have students who are taking their education outside of the classroom and going into opportunities like different internships. But we have some student organizations that have also really made their statement as well. We have the #1 student chapter in forestry. They've been ranked top 3 for now over 2 decades. And over the last 3 years, they've actually been ranked #1 in the country. And there's 77 different chapters across the country. And so not only are they getting professional experience, but they're taking their education to a very serious professional level and understanding that the advisors, the professors that they're meeting at these different conferences are probably going to be some future employers one day.
So that's a great opportunity. And this show is all about the opportunities our students can take, and so that's great. And Are CFR students, and Zandra kind of talked about this also, are CFR students able to get involved in undergraduate research?
Absolutely, and we actually encourage that pretty heavily, even from the first year. I know one of my previous students, she was able to get involved in undergraduate research, and by the summer after her freshman year, she was able to go on a study abroad trip and work even more intently on that undergraduate research opportunity. And that position actually took her all the way to Africa. We've had a student, one of my former students, who was working on undergraduate research, and by the time she was a senior and graduating, she had submitted her first article to a peer-reviewed journal and then was approved, and so then she was a published author right after graduation. So definitely the opportunities are there, and the topics really range. Some of the topics may be on wild hog research and how that damage really impacts our agriculture and our forest land and our really protecting our land. Others might be interested in fisheries or aquaculture or marine biology, marine ecology, all of those different aspects. And then some may want to get back to their roots and do white-tailed deer research. And so all of those are different topics, different wildlife diseases, researching different habitats and restoration projects. All of those are topics and more that our students can study as an undergraduate research.
So as you can see, Zandra and her classmates are getting opportunities to participate in hands-on opportunities and instruction and impactful research. Let's hear more about those research opportunities and the programs that they get this in.
Want a career as big as the outdoors? Want to have an impact on the environment? The College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University delivers hands-on training, ensuring clean air and water, wildlife habitats, and a sustainable environment. Creating new wood products and retooling old ones for today and tomorrow. Find a career in whatever path you choose. Majors in forestry, natural resource and environmental conservation, sustainable bioproducts, wildlife, fisheries, and aquaculture. Want a career as big as the outdoors? Choose the College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the MSU family. My name is Peter Allen. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Aquaculture. And we are at the South Farm Aquaculture facility. There's not that many universities actually that have a big aquatic center, let alone one of this size. We have here over 84 ponds, which you can see behind me. Because Mississippi has a lot of water, we have a high water table. We have the Mississippi River, and this year we have a lot of rain as well. It's a great place for aquaculture. Having these facilities has been great for Mississippi State and for our research and for working hand in hand and helping out the aquaculture industry around Mississippi and the region. We just got a chance to look at the ponds outside. Now we're in our main aquaculture building. One of the names for this, we call it the Raceway Building. And a raceway is basically a round tank or a rectangular tank where the water moves from one end to the other. Aquaculture is similar to a lot of other types of agriculture. You're trying to produce more from the same amount of resources you have, and so ways that we can use strains or maximize fish that do well in low oxygen. All those types of things mean more profitability for the farmer. We work with commercial aquaculture, but we also work with conservation species as well. So working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, NOAA, National Marine Fisheries Service. We have from time to time species like Atlantic sturgeon in here, alligator gar. A lot of these different species, we have flexibility in this facility that we can put one fish in here one week that's freshwater. Another week we can put in something from the coast in saltwater. And so having these types of capabilities gives us that flexibility that we can adjust whoever the needs of the stakeholders of Mississippi dictate. Being flexible is key.
Deer Lab is a group of faculty and graduate students, and somewhat our facilities here at Mississippi State University, that answers important questions to land managers. We study wildlife ecology from the standpoint of how does that matter to the landowners in the state of Mississippi and elsewhere. Yeah, deer hunting is worth almost $1 billion per year to the state economy, and we need to support that with proper information. We study how land and deer populations need to be managed so that those people that have the interest in hunting can more effectively do that. Some of our state wildlife regulations for deer hunting right now are based on our earlier research. There is no other university in the United States that has this kind of really a brain trust of expertise and interest that can answer the kinds of questions that matter to landowners. Our expertise doesn't just apply to the state of Mississippi. We've conducted work in Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Kentucky, Michigan. We've got really a unique opportunity here to help more than just the state of Mississippi. Our facility is important not just for research, but we bring students out here. This is an outdoor lab, a controlled lab where we can teach students how to handle deer. We combine research with educational opportunities for our undergraduate and graduate student population, and at the same time answer those questions that are valuable to the landowners of the state.
That was a lot. We learned so much. And so there's so many programs to get involved in. And so aquaculture is a great way to start. And so how does the work students do in aquaculture translate to our day-to-day lives?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that was mentioned in that video was the issue of profitability. Obviously, we want to make sure that local landowners are able to profit the most. And so part of that goes into the science of how can we grow fish essentially in a very quick and efficient manner and get to the consumer who loves that. And another aspect of aquaculture goes into different aquaponics. So being able to produce fruits and vegetables from local water sources.
Gotcha. As a man who likes catfish, I like the sound of this. Now, what other unique facilities and labs like the Deer Lab do we offer?
So we do have the aquaculture facility on our South Farm, which is just right south of campus. You mentioned the Deer Labs. We also have different labs at the Franklin Center, which is where our sustainable bioproduct facilities are. Our students also go out to our John Starr Memorial Forest, which I mentioned earlier, and not necessarily our property, but being just a few miles down the road from the Knoxville National Wildlife Refuge, our students get a lot of hands-on opportunities as well out there.
Gotcha. So to me, it sounds like you don't spend much time in the classroom because you have all this lab space that you're working and doing real-world work in.
Correct. I had a student one time who I simply asked, if you could tell me how much time you spend outside versus inside in this undergraduate degree, what estimate would you give me? And she said 3 to 1, hands down. And so I think that tells a lot about the out of the classroom experience that our students get.
That's great. I'd much rather see a deer than hear about it, right?
That's right.
Tell us how important it is to study programs like wildlife ecology in a state like Mississippi.
Well, Mississippi is heavily dominated by forest land, and so we want to make sure we maintain that ecology for a lot of different purposes. In fact, over the last couple of years, there's been some different diseases that have that have shown up in different deer across the state. And so obviously we want to make sure that that's a healthy product, not only during the harvesting stage, but also a lot of people like to cook that and eat that, and so we want to make sure that that's safe for Mississippians. And there's just a lot of other topics that can go into why ecology is important, but that's definitely some hot topics.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree that deer stew needs to be as safe as possible.
Absolutely.
Now, what careers do our College of Forest Resources students usually enter?
That really depends. we have the ability to offer positions in the private sector as well as the public sector. And what I mean by that, Deborah, we have students, especially in forestry, who will go and work for Georgia Pacific or Weyerhaeuser, International Paper. And while they may have a lot of different positions, some of the key ones that I hear our students going into are procurement forestry, where they are able to go out on a piece of property on behalf of whatever company they're working with and assess that property and make sure that they are offering the right amount of money for that company. You don't want to overpay for a piece of property that's going to be harvested and goes into those products. And so our students are able to assess and know, based on market value, based on the economy, what's a good landing price. But some of our students go into wildlife biology positions, or they may go on to work in a zoo one day. They may go and work in different marine biology type positions. Many of our students, they have the ability to go into research. Some go on to the classroom and they want to become public educators or private educators working with extension, or they may go into working in higher education and teaching.
Wow, so the career options are endless.
Absolutely.
Now, we've heard a lot about deer labs and wildlife ecology and even aquaculture, but what are some other programs within the College of Forest Resources?
So one of the things that I always like to talk about is our living learning community. The College of Forest Resources has a great way for students who are there as they are looking to transition to Mississippi State and transition into this academic college. We have a living learning community in Cresswell Hall where these students can live on the same floor. They are immediately immersed into the College of Forest Resources culture. They have the opportunity to take a first-year seminar class that is taught by our Associate Dean, and it just serves as a great transition. These students can form study groups together. They can go to class together. And you know, Tabor, when it's cold and rainy outside, it can be very easy and tempting to want to stay in bed. But when your roommate or your neighbor is already up getting ready to go to class, it makes it a little easier and it holds you a little bit more accountable to go to class. And so our retention rates are really great from students who start out in that program, and they go on to become really lifelong friends and naturally build a cohort amongst themselves that really helps them later on. It's nice to know when you can identify good roommates who might be good team partners later on in group work.
That's true. Peer-to-peer mentorship is important.
Absolutely.
At the beginning, I'm sure my mom felt like I minored in skipping class, so that's a great opportunity. Another unique living learning community many of our students in the College of Forest Resources participate in is the Shackles Honors College, and that's a great time for us to learn more about the Shackles Honors College.
Hi there, my name's Wade Leonard. I'm the Outreach Coordinator at the Shackles Honors College at Mississippi State University, and today I'd like to spend a few minutes talking to you about the Office of Prestigious External Scholarships, which is located within the Honors College.
The office supports student applications to these scholarships and fellowships that are designed to really improve students' knowledge and prepare them for these, and give them access to these amazing, a lot of times, graduate scholarships for those later ones.
So 6 years ago, I won the Rhodes Scholarship at Mississippi State, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. I've been to Oxford, been to Harvard, and now I've come back to Mississippi State to now help out other students who want that same experience.
The Office of Prestigious External Scholarships exists to help match students with some of the most remarkable opportunities from all over the world. Opportunities like the Rhodes Scholarship, the Gates Cambridge Scholarship, the Truman Scholarship, the NASA Scholarship, the Goldwater Scholarship. The list literally goes on and on and on. And while I might be surprised had you heard of many of these opportunities, should you effectively compete for them, they will change the course of the rest of your life.
There isn't a particular profile of student or student's major that says come to the Office of Prestigious External Scholarships. Really what we see is that the office is for all majors. We'll work with chemists, we'll work with anthropologists, we'll work with creative writers, we'll work with artists, designers, engineers. Anybody can come to our office.
So since I've been back at Mississippi State, I work with 3 to 5 students on applying for the Marshall Scholarship, the Rhodes Scholarship, the Knight Hennessy Scholarship, from really the first step to the last step. So making sure they get their letters of recs in order, making sure they craft a narrative about their life that's very compelling, making sure they discuss their research in very interesting ways on paper. And so I'm going through drafts with students. I'm having conversations about their future life ideas with them.
It's not hyperbole to say that the students at the Shackles Honors College are among some of the best in the world. We regularly compete with students from all over the country and all over the world. So if you're looking to find something remarkable and you want to make Mississippi State University your home, come see us at the Shackles Honors College and make an appointment with the Office of Prestigious External Scholarships.
It's amazing to see our Mississippi State students, who we know are inherently competitive, but to be able to facilitate them to be on the world's biggest stages, to have these experiences, that is something that is a distinct privilege to be in this position. It is really a joy to be able to work with students and then on some levels live vicariously from the amazing experiences that they get to have, and to show the world really what the sort of treasures we have here at Mississippi State that you can find in our students, to tell the story of the state of Mississippi and Mississippi State University in general.
I'm living proof of what the Shackles Honors College can do for you if you take advantage of the resources provided there.
Tell you about another couple of ways you can keep up with everything that's going on in the Honors College. First of all, Honors has a podcast. It's called Honorable Mentions, and you can find it anywhere you get podcasts. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on Google Play, it's on all the things. So check that out. Also, if you'd like to talk to me directly, you can email me anytime at wleonard@honors.msstate.edu, or you can visit me during one of my weekly Zoom sessions. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., I host a Zoom session where I talk to people about the Honors College. So please join me for those. You can find the registration links at our website at honors.msstate.edu. That's honors.msstate.edu, or you can just go over to the Shackles Honors College Facebook page. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope I get to see you all sometime really, really soon.
Thank you, Wade, and thank you to the entire Shackles Honors College. And that was a great deal of information. And I know you guys have questions now, so I will stop asking questions and we'll take your questions. So first question says that we talk a lot about animals. Are there opportunities to get involved in the vet school through the College of Forest Resources?
Yeah, so that's actually, I'm glad that was brought up. So the Wildlife Fisheries Aquaculture Department actually has a pre-vet concentration attached. So in that concentration, it's our wildlife veterinary medicine concentration. The students have the ability to not only get the prerequisites suited for vet school entry, but they also meet all of the requirements to come out as an associate wildlife biologist. And those students have the opportunity to go really anywhere. They can either go to vet school, but some of those students begin learning very early on what all they can do with animals that doesn't necessarily have to keep them in vet school, and they will go in other directions. But it's definitely a great option for vet school. It's a smaller department than some of the other pre-vet routes, and I think that our students typically have a way of standing out because of it being such a smaller department.
When students visit, are there opportunities for them to go to any of the labs mentioned?
Absolutely. So usually, especially, they'll see the labs that we have inside Thompson Hall, which is our academic building. They get to see the different classroom spaces, our computer labs, our student lounge. If they will notify me early on, I can take them to some of our outdoor labs. Since they aren't right outside our doorstep, I do have to usually make special arrangements for that, but I'm happy to do that whenever given the opportunity.
Okay. So are there unique enrichment opportunities within the College of Forest Resources?
I think so, especially for our forestry students. One of the things, in addition to the hands-on experience that our students have the opportunity to get while they are an undergraduate, is working in our summer field program. Many of our forestry programs across the country have steered away from a summer field experience, but our program is still very much a strong aspect of our curriculum. The students take essentially 4 classes required for graduation, and in that 4 classes, they are receiving 9 hours of the course credit for graduation. It is very intensive. It's usually during the summer between a student's sophomore and junior year. And really, it's because of that experience that springboard students into an internship the summer before their senior year. Many companies come to Thompson Hall and visit with our students on a regular basis, and because of that summer field experience will say, if I can't have a Mississippi State intern, I don't want an intern. And so I think that really speaks volumes for the level of professional experience that students get within that one summer field experience.
Oh, that's a great segue for our next question. What are internship opportunities available to College Forest Resources students?
Internships vary depending on what the students' end goals are. Our faculty do a great job of notifying our students of different internship opportunities and really trying to groom them to be the best competitive student for those experiences. Some of our students will go and intern with Georgia Pacific or Weyerhaeuser, but they may also go and research or serve as an intern with the Smithsonian Museum in DC. We also have a phenomenal experience called the Demers Scholars Program, which is a competitive scholars program. It's an internship program that takes place in Washington, DC every year. Mississippi State and Michigan State are the only two universities that collaborate for this particular scholars program, and it's really a program geared towards students who want to work in natural resources work. And so with that program, if you're selected, you move to DC for the summer and you work with a federal agency, and that is a great way to also see what else the College of Forest Resources can offer. It's not necessarily being out in the woods every day. It really could send you working for the USDA, working on Capitol Hill, working in your local state offices and capital facilities there.
Awesome. You guys have had great questions. Continue to ask those questions, and we will be sure to get to them. And while we're getting more questions, Corey, what's a great way to get in contact with you?
So I can be reached by email. My email address is c.bailey, B-A-I-L-E-Y, at msstate.edu. Students can also call me in the office. My number is 662-325-7873. But we also have a platform on social media. I know our students are LinkedIn there, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And so with any of those three outlets, you can learn more about the College of Forest Resources and also get my contact information. We also have a really good website that's very user-friendly, and my information is there as well, in addition to all of our majors being listed there. So if a student wants to take a look at our 4 different majors, take a look at our 17 different concentrations, they can research those there.
What are some ways for students to visit with us, both in person and virtual?
Yeah, so I'm offering both. Usually Monday through Friday, I offer visits at 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and so students would just go to the admissions website and request a visit that fits their best date, and the admissions office does a great job of working with me behind the scenes to make sure that we can meet and confirm those meetings. I'm also able to meet virtually, so I've been doing a lot of WebEx meetings here lately, and I offer those really at any time, Monday through Friday.
Awesome. You guys heard it. There's plenty of ways to connect with the College of Forest Resources. I hope you were able to learn some things that you didn't know today and get some things confirmed that you wanted to know. And we've enjoyed having you. And as always, if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. And Hail State to you.